Hello, my friends. We're starting off today with a root chakra reading. So the first one out was the Hanged Man. That is the main card for this reading. And we have the Hanged Man in reverse. Sorry, I should have specified. So in reverse, we're talking more about the need for sacrifice, the need for letting go. You can see this hanged person skeleton is really hanging on to their scaffolding. Kind of an odd thing to do, but they're trying to stay connected to their head, which is, of course, no longer connected. So, there's the need to let go. And then we have these other cards as clarifiers of the situation. We have the High Priestess, the Secret Keeper, the one who is connected to the divine and has an inner knowing, perhaps, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and all the other clairs. Then we have the Fool in reverse. And the Fool is looking at the High Priestess. That's pretty interesting. So the Fool in reverse is the unwillingness to take the leap of faith into the unknown. And that's usually caused by fear. But we also have the Eight of Pentacles, which is in the upright. The Eight of Pentacles is about the need to refine skills that you've been working on. It comes after the Seven of Pentacles, of course. And the Seven of Pentacles is about making the investment in yourself. I always compare it to gardening. So in gardening, you have chosen where you want to have your garden. You've prepared the soil. You've raked it. You've gotten rid of the weeds and the rocks and laid out your lines, or decided at least where you want to plant your seeds. You've done the research to choose your seeds, and you plant them. But that's the first stage, that planting stage. You haven't seen anything yet. The seeds are in the soil. It's up to you to keep them watered and to keep the weeds down, keep pulling the weeds so that they have the room to grow and the nutrients to grow, because the weeds will suck up all the nutrients and then your seeds won't have them. So they won't grow well. So the Eight of Pentacles I think of as sort of the middle stage. There's a lot of work to be done. Especially if you're talking about a garden. You've got to still got the plants, the seeds are up. You've got seedlings, maybe a little bigger than seedlings. But they're not flowering. They're not ready to harvest. It's just this in-between phase where there's all this work to be done to keep them going, and you're not seeing any results. So it can be a very difficult time to stay committed, to keep going, to keep doing the work every day, even though you're not seeing any results. And then you have this Priestess, perhaps a growing sense of connectedness to the divine. This is also the divine aspects of the feminine energies. So there is that connection to the divine, an increasing sense of connection to the divine, perhaps an increasing knowledge of things that have been kept secret from you. As I said, this is mostly a spiritual card, so not so much about your material world, but more metaphysics or spirituality. And this is on either side of this Fool. So you're not ready to take the leap yet. You're still in the midst of preparing to take the leap, I think. You're not ready to make the sacrifices that will be demanded of this leap, by this leap. And you're very, very concerned about your material well-being, because this is a root chakra reading. So that is your primary focus for your root chakra. It's always all about survival, it's also about childhood issues, healing things from your childhood that you haven't addressed yet, and maybe becoming aware of them. Another thing that can happen with the High Priestess. If you really want to heal those wounds, you are probably going to have to make a leap of some sort. Whether that's, going to therapy or confronting yourself. Hopefully it's not about confronting others, but I can't rule it out. I say hopefully because healing is not really about others. It's something that we do internally. This reading is taking a strange turn. Okay. I think I want to identify what shadow is most affecting you right now. You got a couple of shadows. So you have, for shadows, we have 19 and 60. And that would be codependence, oh dear, and limitation. Okay. So you probably feel like you can't let go of whatever it is or whoever it is. It's most likely who. That you are being asked to sacrifice. Maybe a very unhealthy relationship. It's codependency there. And 60, what was 60? Sorry, that codependence just knocked me for a loop. Limitation, oh, of course. So belief in your own limitations, definitely something worth sacrificing. And the High Priestess may be making you aware that you have far fewer limitations than you think you do. But yes, those limitations will be becoming, they'll make this a lot harder. So you may be doing a lot more work than you really need to do to create the financial or material stability that you like. All right. How about any recommendations on addressing this root chakra? Well, so they think the first step is simply awareness. Awareness can go a long ways to helping you to heal. It's very difficult to heal something that you refuse to even exist, of course, right? Makes sense? And I am thinking the tea leaves right now. It took me a long time to warm up to these tea leaf cards, but now that I'm started using them, they are a lot more versatile and helpful than I realized. So we have the codependency shadow. I'm not sure this is about, I think this is just generally about your financial or material status, well-being. Anyway, it says a period of prosperity and abundance and a sincere wish will be granted. So that's great. But let's talk about this codependency. The deck is so large I have to divide it in half and just shuffle one half at a time. So codependency. Seek out a mentor. Good advice from a wise person. And dogs. Getting together with friends. Yeah, you've got a real pack mentality there. Perhaps you need to cultivate a little more independence. I'll tell you, that's what comes up after the Eight of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is all about working alone. So you need to get to that stage, I think. But now, you know, you don't want to be, well, being a pack animal can be good and healthy as long as you're not codependent. So you have to be aware of that. And now we have the limitation shadow. Family sorrow. That came out just a couple of days ago, I think. So it seems this collective has some sort of family thing going on as well, which may be affecting your sense of limitations. But what you need to remember is this too shall pass. It says temporary problems. I don't know if you've lost someone, that's not a temporary problem, but you can go on. It takes time, of course. If you have lost someone, you need to go through the healing of that loss. And this is reassurance that the sun will come out again, even if right now you may be deep in grief and loss. The limitations that you are feeling will also pass. So that's a reassuring message for your limitations thing. But I think your codependency issue is a much bigger problem because the limitations is clearly a temporary-ish situation. And the codependency seems to be a much longer standing problem. Okay. It feels to me like this dog situation, this being a member of the pack, your community has been very, very important to you. And perhaps you've been getting some advice recently from someone about being a little more independent. I mean, there's a healthy balance there. But you've got codependency as a shadow, so you are not in a state of healthy balance in that regard. You are far too easily influenced with others, perhaps out of a fear of loss. Your pack means everything to you, huh? All right. Yep. All right. You got the frog. The frog is all about cleansing and healing. So there's something you have got to get out of your system. And you're probably overburdened as well. Maybe this situation you're in is one that piles too much on you. All right, frog. Cleansing, clearing, healing. Yeah. The frog and the water element are almost inseparable. The frog spends its first months of life entirely within this healing element and then emerges to rest on land. But no matter how earthly the frog becomes, its need for cleansing and rejuvenation is regular. Frogs tend to become overworked and undernourished, so it's vital that such sensitive creatures practice self-care. This card serves as a reminder that water helps us cleanse, forgive, and release. Time to dive in. Frogs aren't meant to carry a heavy load. When in balance, clear energy and enthusiasm for life. When out of balance, depleted, running on empty. To bring into balance, lake, river, ocean, or bathhouse. So it sounds like you need to immerse yourself in water, literally, or perhaps dance in the rain. That's what I would do. Anyway, this has been your chakra reading, your root chakra reading. I wish you all the best and lots of health and prosperity, or healing and prosperity. Good luck.